Bob Maloney from My MMA News, and I am talking to Jared Jones today. I got to see Jared perform live at USKA back a couple months ago, and he was a terrific, looked great, young athlete, kickboxer. Jared, man, before we talk fights, my man, how you feeling? What's going on? How you feeling physically heading into the holiday season?
I feel very well. I feel energized. Holiday season really didn't do too much for me. I have a specific lifestyle that I live by, so everything that goes into it, it just stays the same, and I'm able to just continue my training throughout the year like usual.
For those of you, including myself, that don't know much about you, how did you get to this point that you're fighting still on the amateur level? But listen, the guy I seen you fight, you have a ton of promise. You could be fighting pro pretty soon if you decide to go that way. But as far as how did you get to this point? Were you always a fan of mixed martial arts? How did you get here? Just a little brief, story.
So, a little brief beginning story is I started martial arts when I was 7 years old. I started doing Taekwondo and Tang Soo Do with my master, Grandmaster Torres of Team Torres Martial Arts in Edgewater Park, New Jersey. I've been a practitioner of martial arts for a little over 10 years now. And I started kickboxing at 19 years old. Started training for that as soon as I turned 19. And then I had my first fight in 2019 when I was 20 years old. And then here I am now, getting ready for my fourth.
Tell me a little bit about now. We were talking, you're training with some guys at NPR who are doing MMA. That's another thing I want to ask you about. I mean, are you going to strictly stick with kickboxing and Muay Thai, or do you think mixed martial arts in the cage, MMA fighting, is that in the future for you?
I definitely think MMA is in the future for me. It's something that drew my attention back in high school. So it's something that I do want to do eventually. But I'm more of a person to take my time and go through every process as it should be, at least in my own perspective. I think that, going through kickboxing and then being proficient at that will just give me a much better edge in the cage than just doing all of it at once.
Well, listen, you had said to me that, you train with those guys that are fighting tomorrow night. NPR. I mean, have you run into Patrick Sabatini? Have you got a chance to either roll with him or spar with him? I mean, I know Eric Purcell has been putting together a hell of a squad over there. Listen, he's been building that for years, and the fight team just continues to grow with quality, talent. Have you gotten a chance to experience with Pat in there?
No, not yet. I want to badly. I want to spar Pat so bad, but of course he's a busy man. I'm not going to bother him like that. He has a lot on his plate. I'll just get in when I can. But yeah, I'm definitely a part of that team over there. I love everyone over there. They're great people. They're great fighters as well. And the team, like you said, is getting bigger and is getting a lot better, almost like every day. And it's a wonderful experience.
Great. Talk to me about, is that, or do you have any other schools that you train at? Where are you right now? Who are you team? What's your team?
Well, I'm based out of Team Torres Martial Arts. That is my main training ground. That's where I still train today. Taekwondo and Tang Soo Do has been a very rooted thing for me, and it's been helpful. But the rest of my skills come from my trainer and coach, Shannon Bogan, who's been a practitioner of martial arts his entire life. And he has mentored me and guided me along with Grandmaster Torres to get to this point now. And that's where I'm mainly at.
Well, listen, all I know is when I was watching you fight, I mean, the in and out, the level changes along with the speed, and you have that elusive southpaw that some guys just have, and you just had it, and I can't wait to see you do your thing, man. Jared Jones fighting the USKA December 11th. Jared, give some shout outs or some love. I know you've had a lot of support to get to this point. Give some love out.
Absolutely. So I want to give a shout out to my one sponsor, who's a good friend of mine, Fred, who owns a company called Copper Arms, who is a company that works on lawn care. 1 second, sorry.
We're good.
Sorry, you all good? Okay, good. So yeah, so Copper Arms, and then my next sponsor is my cousin Sambe, the trainer, who is the head leader of the Fitness Den in New Jersey. So those are my two people that I want to give a shout out to, and the rest of my family that loves me and supports me as well.
Well, Jared, from what I understand, I talked to Gary Grant Jr., who put this fight together. He said your opponent is also a very skilled guy. I think he's an MMA fighter. I think he's like 4-0 or 4-1, something like that. I know you have a terrific record. It's going to be a great fight. Best of skills and best of luck fight week coming in. If you have to cut any weight, good luck with that. If not, I will see you ringside at USKA in Allentown. Jared Jones, man, you got to see this guy fight. He's electric in there, and I expect big things from him. I think you got a great future, man. Jared, thanks for giving us some time at mymmanews.com, my man. Always a pleasure to talk to you. I hope we get to do it a lot more in the future.
Of course. Thank you for having me. And just so you know, I'm not losing in this fight. I don't care what his record is. I don't care who he fought before. He hasn't fought me. All right?
Well, you know what I was saying to myself? I didn't ask Jared for a prediction, so you did my job for me. Thank you, Jared. He gave me the prediction. He says he's going to win. There's no way he loses. And listen, when you're going in there, that's the mentality you should have. And when you're going in there, hey, listen, you know, fighters fight. So, Jared, once again, man, have a great fight week, and we'll see you on the 11th in Allentown.
Yes, sir. I'll see you there, too.